Krispy Kreme wants you to help celebrate its 81st birthday on Friday. The chain is offering a big discount. Buy a dozen donuts and you can get a second dozen of original glazed for just $1. Krispy Kreme is also selling a special edition glazed confetti donut as part of the occasion. It's available from Friday through August 2nd. Coming up, time to check the fridge, the latest item being recalled and what to look out for. And ever get a sunburn even after applying sunscreen? You may be using it wrong. We've got some new tips on keeping the sunburn away. An important recall alert this afternoon. Kraft is voluntarily recalling Taco Bell Salsa con Queso mild cheese dip because of potential botulism contamination. Kraft reports the affected 15-ounce jars show signs of product separation, which can lead to possible health hazard. Botulism, a potentially fatal form of food poisoning. If you purchase the cheese dip, you should throw it away or return it to the store. And stomach pain can be caused by overeating or more serious issues, even things like irritable bowel syndrome and everything in between. However, most often these aches and pains are things that you can fix at home. Haley Hernandez reports.
Dr. Leonardo Espitiev says first, start with a walk and lots of water. If you're stressed or constipated, hydrating your body and moving could be a quick cure.
Sometimes simple interventions are the best interventions. For example, people sometimes have abdominal pain from stress or anxiety, and just going out for a walk or talking to a friend or doing something relaxing like breathing exercises can alleviate the symptoms.
He says if you're feeling cramping, heat will relax the muscles and ease the ache. Or if you're nauseous, reach for ginger. You can eat it, chew it, or steam it and drink. It's one of nature's miracles. Try not to drink alcohol or eat fatty foods if you're prone to heartburn or indigestion. And know that medications to treat these are time sensitive.
I work more for prevention, so if the patients have already symptoms, you want things that will be quick acting. So the typical antacids that sell over the counter work really well because they coat the food and diminish the symptoms of heartburn.
Experts caution that not every stomach problem should be treated at home. Certainly chronic pain or pain that is getting worse needs to be addressed by a doctor. A new study shedding light on the possible mental health implications of the weather. Researchers found that when there are abnormally hot temperatures in a month, there also tend to be higher suicide rates for that time period. The study also suggests suicide rates in the U.S. and Mexico could rise with each 1 degree Celsius increase in a month's average temperature. A new British study found most of us don't use nearly enough sunscreen. The typical adult should use the equivalent of a shot glass of sunscreen to exposed areas of the face and body. They also recommend use of a higher SPF than one might think is necessary. That would help block the sun's cancer-causing rays. Coming up, the Brewers looking for a sweep this afternoon after last night's nail-biter, and studying up for the season, where the Packers are staying ahead of tomorrow's training camp debut. Brewers looking to finish off the Nationals this afternoon with a much-needed sweep. Last night's game went an extra inning at Miller Park. Crew was down 4-0 to start the game, but put up 3 runs in the 5th and 1 more after that to tie it. And the Brewers went on to win 5-4 in the 10th. First pitch this afternoon is about 40 minutes away. It's a 1:10 first pitch at Miller Park. It is back to school for the Green Bay Packers. Meanwhile, the team just moved into dorms at St. Norbert College in De Pere for training camp. First practice is set to take place tomorrow. And the Packers inviting EAA AirVenture fans to check out training camp this week and the Packers experience in Green Bay. Lamer is providing a shuttle service between Oshkosh and Green Bay Thursday through Sunday. The buses depart and pick up from the EAA bus park and near Lambeau Field. It's $15 for a one-way ride and $25 for a round trip. Today you can check out an exhibit for a Packers legend. Jerry Kramer is going to be inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Today, the Packers Hall of Fame opened a temporary exhibit in his honor. Kramer's induction ceremony is set for August 4th in Canton, Ohio. Live at 12:30 is up next. From flash flooding to extreme heat, we've got new information on severe weather gripping much of the nation. Also, he was supposed to make a delivery, but a Florida restaurant says this guy took something instead. The bold theft caught on camera.
Right now, from Milwaukee, this is today's TMJ4 live at 12:30.
Torrential rains and flash flooding soaking states up and down the East Coast. Meanwhile, scorching triple-digit heat continues to burn out west with no relief in sight. NBC's Katie Beck is wrapping this up for us. She has more from rain-soaked Hummelstown, Pennsylvania.
Dangerous weather wreaking havoc nationwide, from the East Coast to the West.
Temperature is not just hot for us, it's hot everywhere.
In Fairfax, Virginia, violent flash floods swallowing roads and nearly covering cars. Rescuers in Hershey, Pennsylvania this morning going door to door, taking residents out by inflatable boats. While in nearby Harrisburg, hazardous high water swept a 19-year-old into a creek. First responders set to resume the search this morning.
It's just extremely dangerous to go near the water at this time.
Rain-soaked grounds in Baltimore County, Maryland, causing large trees to crash into homes. Many roads underwater. In Charlotte, North Carolina, 5 people trapped in a flooded business were taken to safety by boat. While down the coast in Florida, treacherous rip currents making anything but a typical day at the beach.
As we started to swim back, I couldn't find the bottom. And so it got out of hand in a hurry.
Out west, the intense heat impacting millions and claiming at least 6 lives in Southern California. Record-setting temperatures in some areas reaching well into the triple digits.
Really hard to work with this weather, and you just gotta go little by little.
In Phoenix, a box of crayons left out in the scorching sun melted in minutes. That heat fueling wildfires ripping through the region, burning hundreds of thousands of acres. A blaze near Yosemite forcing rangers to evacuate the park and shut it down.
Anyone who is planning on coming here, at least through Sunday, should change their plans.
Unrelenting weather showing little mercy from coast to coast.
The bad news is the forecast here today, 100% chance of rain. In Hummelstown, Pennsylvania, I'm Katie Beck for NBC News.
Well, that's a pretty safe bet. 100% chance of rain. My goodness. All right, over to Storm Team 4 meteorologist Josh Worster, who's looking at our Storm Team forecast. Nothing of the sort here, Josh, but you are watching the possibility of some strong storms tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And they'll be spotty, but as they roll through, each has the potential, each cell that develops does have the potential to be on the stronger side. We'll talk more about that coming up with your full forecast. But if you're out and about in the next few hours, nothing but sunshine today. We're at 83 in Milwaukee, 77 in Waukesha, 79 degrees in Whitewater right now, so a degree or two on either side of 80. Now the high clouds are drifting in. They're ahead of the showers that are moving through during the overnight hours tonight, so it's limiting any heating through the afternoon. I still think we continue to climb. Likely our inland areas make it into the about 80 degree mark and maybe a degree or two yet right on the lakefront, so we make it to the low to middle 80s for highs this afternoon. But while the heating doesn't stop, it certainly slows down. In Milwaukee, we maybe climb another degree and then we start to slide off on our temperatures. Notice clouds increasing through the afternoon and evening, but we are dry, and that is ahead of some showers and thunderstorms through the overnight tonight. Notice, well after dark, they're developing. So any outdoor plans that you have for this afternoon and for this evening, you'll be good to go. Now, like we mentioned, any storm that does develop tonight does have the potential to be on the severe side. There is a slight risk of severe weather, mainly for Fond du Lac and Dodge County, but not going to rule out the potential of a stray stronger storm further south as well in the green shaded area. We'll talk more about these storms, time them out hour by hour, coming up with your full forecast.
All right, Josh, one of the country's most popular summertime go-to destinations announced that it is closing due to a massive wildfire. Yosemite National Park is shutting down its main highway. The National Park Service also closed campgrounds, hotels, and cabins inside the park. The Ferguson fire is impacting the air quality and safety of the park as flames inch closer every day. So far, it's burned more than 40 square miles. In Greece, a wildfire killed at least 79 people, many more missing. Still photos show people seeking refuge on a beach as flames approach. 26 of the dead were found huddled in a nearby campground. Rescue crews are searching on land and sea for other victims. Florida's controversial Stand Your Ground law is back in the national spotlight as outrage grows after a man was shot and killed during a dispute over a parking space. James Dinan reports.
Demonstrators took to the streets in Clearwater, Florida, after the announcement that a man who shot and killed another man after being pushed is not facing charges. The reason? The state's Stand Your Ground law. Officials say Michael Draka confronted a woman about parking in a handicap spot. Her boyfriend, Marquise McLaughlin, then walked up to Draka and knocked him down. Draka responded by shooting the man once, killing him.
He wasn't a troubled guy. He wasn't out there looking for trouble, but he would stand up for his family.
The sheriff says the issue was whether the shooter was in fear of bodily harm.
No matter how you slice it or dice it, that was a violent push to the ground. He had to shoot to defend himself.
The McLaughlin family and their attorneys disagree.
You cannot provoke a fight and then hide behind, stand your ground.
It is just a very bad law that encourages people in society to take the law into their own hands.
The state attorney's office will now get the case. Michael Draka has declined to answer multiple media inquiries. WFTS in Florida reported the 47-year-old put a sign outside his home that reads, "No comment." I'm James Dinan reporting.
The deadline for the federal government to reunite thousands of separated children with their migrant parents is a day away now. Federal judge set the July 26 deadline for the government to reunite more than 2,500 children between the ages of 5 and 17 who were separated from their parents. One possible roadblock: more than 450 of those parents may have been deported while their children remained here in the U.S. Singer Demi Lovato is recovering in an L.A. hospital after an apparent drug overdose. People familiar with the incident told NBC News that first responders were called to the home in the Hollywood Hills area. They say those first responders used Narcan, which is used to reverse the effects of an overdose. The 25-year-old singer has been open about her